Hello everybody and welcome back to the part 2 of the Galacticraft mod showcase where we're going through Mars. First off, you got back from the moon, you'd have raw meteoric iron, and then with the cheese curd, I'll show you what you can do with it. That's quite fun. If you take a cow, make a milk bucket, go to the crafting table, you'll be able to put the milk in the middle and this cheese curd around, and you will get a block of cheese, which I think works like a cake, except I don't know if you can eat it, so we put it on top of the crafting table and you can eat it, yeah. Then, what you actually want to do with the meteoric iron you have here, the raw meteoric iron, is smelt it in a furnace to make meteoric iron ingot. With a meteoric iron ingot, you can put that one thing in a compressor to compress it. By the way, if you have not seen part 1, I will leave a link in the description below to part 1, because it's probably pretty important to watch if you want to know what's going on. So, anyways, once you made the raw meteoric iron, now you can go take your NASA Tier 2 rocket workbench, go to the NASA workbench that we have discussed about last part. Right click the workbench, press next, and then you can put this in here and click on unlock schematic. When you go back, you can see you have a Tier 2 rocket here. Now that we have it unlocked, we can start building it. What you need is the nose cone. The heavy duty plating is Tier 2. Which is just a heavy duty plating in a compressed meteoric iron. So yes, then you need Tier 1 booster, which is a yellow wool, specifically yellow wool, tin canister, oxygen vent. Again, you can go back in the last part to see how you make these oxygen vents and all this kind of stuff. 4 compressed meteoric iron that we saw how to make, and 2 heavy duty plates Tier 1. Then 4 rocket fins and a Tier 1 rocket engine. Now that we have all these components, we can go up to this and put these in one by one. Oops. I'm sorry, this is the wrong schematic. What am I doing? So we put these in one by one. You put the engine here. You put the boosters here. And then you put in these. And then again, well, I'm not going to put a chest in this one, but again, you can put the chest in the top 3 slots if you want to. Now that you've done that, now we've built our rocket. Now what you might want to bring to, well, what you can build in this mod is, I'll show you the recipe later, but it's a cryogenic chamber, which you can actually sleep in for, I forgot what I was going to say, I had a brain fart, but you can sleep in, yeah, that's right, you can sleep in on other planets, because usually if you try to, it would not skip the day or a night. So anyways, if we go get our rocket launch pad that we saw how to make in part 1, you take that, then you place these all down. You get your fuel loader, which I have forgot everything for this. My bad. So you get fuels. You actually need more fuel for a Tier 2 rocket than you would for a Tier 1. And you get your fuel loader. You put it in. You put this fuel in here, and you get the battery, you charge it up, you put the rocket on, and then you start loading. So as you can see, it will take 2 times as much fuel. I don't know if it's exactly 2, but I do know for sure it takes more fuel than it would to fill up Tier 1. So anyways, when we go in here, we of course need our gear. And this time I'm actually have this in here, but I'm not bringing the parachute for a reason. It's not the best reason in the world. I bring the empty canister, which I'll just use these for now. And then food, as usual. Again, you can't shift click it in if you tried. For some reason, I mean, you just have to. So I'll leave a link of the mod in the description below and part 1 in the description below. And once this is completely finished filling up, it's not full on fuel. As you can see, let me get over here real quickly. It did take a little more fuel. It took about 50% more fuel, so it took about 1.5 canisters, I'd have to say. And then we lift off. By the way, you can launch even without a parachute. Now you need a Tier 2 rocket to get to Mars. And when you get to Mars, it's got stuff there that you might want. And 3, 2, 1, and off we go. Again, same particle effect, very neat indeed. If I go into my inventory, I forgot to bring a fuel loader with me, so let's just get one of those. And up we go. So when going to Mars is a little different than going to Moon. One sec. I mean, there are once again 2 schematics in a dungeon, different dungeon boss, and the dungeon looks a little different inside. You can still place flags down, and it's kind of the same, but not completely the same. Look how high you go on the minimap when in a rocket. It's just insane. So if you go to Mars, you press send to dimension. You don't have to hold space for this time. Instead, you are on this thing that will just slowly drift down, and then the parachute goes down and you start falling down really fast. Ouch. Now, I won't be showing you what you need to do to survive on Mars like I did on Moon in part 1 if you missed that, because I did it in part 1. It's pretty much the same thing for Mars and Moon. So if you want to know what you do to survive here, you must watch part 1 and go to the Moon. See, as you can see, Earth is smaller, and this is, wow, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So if we get over here, as you can see, I'm still wearing my diamond armor and stuff. We have no new ores. We have 1 new ore, and it says copper ore again, but this is dash ore. So now we mine these up. Copper, tin, iron, and then there's the dash. Mining, what happened? Did they all go flying? Yeah, one went over here. Again, low gravity, except for the fact that I think this one, you jump 1.5 blocks high instead of like 3. So, yeah, I seem to have lost one. Anyways, when you mine the copper, tin, and iron, you will get the ores. And then when you mine dash, you will get unrefined dash. Again, you can smelt them all, including dash, and what you get for smelting them is copper makes the ingot, tin makes the tin ingot, iron makes an iron ingot, and then dash, the unrefined dash makes a dash ingot. Now, dash ingot is fun. So this is why you want to get to Mars, because dash ingots are very nice. Because if you look in here, I have stuff to show you. This is not important right now. So anyways, what you need to first is a dash stick, and to make that, you will need 2 dash ingots, and you get 1 dash stick. And then you can make the tools, the dash axe, and it's the same way as a regular axe, except you're using dash sticks and dash ingots. And then pickaxe the same, shovel same, and hoe the same, as you see. The sword is the same, and then we get to the armor, which is the same except with dash ingots, and it's literally called dash armor. So anyways, I think these things last longer, do mine as well as iron, and last as long as diamond. I actually don't know. I haven't read anything about these, but that's just a guess. And then this thing does 0.5 less damage than a diamond sword, and might last as long as a diamond sword. Then this armor does the same as diamond and lasts maybe as long as diamond, maybe a little shorter. Anyways, once you get there, as you can see, it's night. Now we can get to the cryogenic chamber. The recipe for this is compressed dash, 6 of them. To make compressed dash, you just put 1 dash ingot in, and then 2 tier 2 heavy duty platings in a bed. Now you can put this down, and it's this big, and once again you can sleep on it. And when you sleep in it, it should skip the night, because you can't usually sleep on the moon or Mars in this mod. Yeah, so that's cool. And yeah, that's about all of Desh. But next, there is only 1 new mob in the Mars version. It's the evolved creeper boss, which you will find in the dungeon. Now we gotta get over here a little ways, because he's kind of deadly. Now this boss is actually more of a challenge, but yet again, not challenging enough if you know what to do. I am lagging. Okay, that wasn't good. So we go over here, and when we spawn him in, he will want to kill us. So you can't actually melee this guy. You have to hit the TNT back to him. So you can literally sit here and hit TNT back to him. What I found out you could do is really get up close to him and keep doing this, and the TNT will keep going back. So yeah, that's how he's like easy to defeat. And when he gets low on health, I believe he starts losing 1 head at a time. Like there, you see he lost his, well, I don't know if we're going to say right or left, because to us it's right, to him it's left. But we'll see he lost his right head. And next he'll lose his left head if I get him down to like a third of his health. And then he looks like a charged creeper. I don't think he's any more deadly. You really want armor for this guy, by the way. He is quite powerful if you don't have armor, considering the fact TNT does a lot of damage. And at one point you kill him, he has no head, and he does the same shaking around weirdness as the first boss. It makes the same noise as it, apparently. Again, I forgot to do a lot of this part, but you get the tier 2 dungeon key, which you can probably guess what this is for. So I believe if we go to this and get the tier 2 dungeon chest, if I can find it. No, I can't find it. So let's just go to game mode. So if we go here, here is the I can't find it. Oh my god. Tier 2 treasure chest. That's what it's called. That's why I couldn't get it. So game mode 0 again. And then the treasure chest is in here. Yeah, it's in there. Okay. That would be good to know. So anyways, you get the tier 2 treasure chest from it, and you have a chance of 2 different schematics. One is kind of obvious, 2 I will get to a little later. So if we put this down, I'll probably need a tier 2 dungeon key to unlock this. Oh, look, I unlocked it. There's nothing in here unlike last time, but the 2 schematics you have of getting is the tier 3 schematic or the automatic cargo rocket schematic. I'll put those in the crafting table later to show you what they do. Anyways, we get to the cargo rocket actually, and for it you will actually need automatic cargo rocket. So the recipe for this is this is the creative mode one. That sucks. So the recipe for this is you can't make this one without chest. You have to put a chest in it. But anyways, it's the new schematic as you'll see later. And you need a nose cone, advanced wafer, 6 tier 2 heavy duty plates, rocket fins, again, why the rocket fins, and the tier 1 rocket engine. This is probably a great feature for multiplayer, but I don't see what use there'd be in single player. And then you need a launch controller to actually get this to work. And the recipe for that is 4 dash ingots, 2 compressed dash, 1 advanced wafer, a frequency module, and an aluminum wire, which some of this has been told how to make in the last episode. And this actually does take 2 cans of fuel. I've checked to fill up completely. It takes like a lot, as you see right here. And so what you want to do is, I have one actually at home. That's what frequency 1, destination frequency 2. So this frequency is going to be 2 and the destination frequency on this is going to be 1. Which you want to do because it means it's pretty much going to launch from one to the other. What the frick did I do? Disable, and then it'll be disabled, so you want to enable it. And when you do that, you can actually go to this thing, put schematics in it, and launch it. Frequency not set. Something went seriously wrong here. What? What do you mean frequency is not set? I think it's glitched a little. Maybe that'll work. Disable and oh, I see. You need a battery. Okay, I must look like a fool. I'm sorry about that. So we do that and launch, and as you can see, it will start launching by itself. There it goes, and it will go back home, and you'll see where it goes. So now, what you can also do with this thing, interestingly enough, is that you can put your own rocket on it and go to the same launch pad as marked. And don't worry about crashing, honestly, because for some reason you can literally land on the other rocket. So I would really not worry about. There's already an extra battery in here. I'd really not worry about like crashing into the other rocket when landing. So we load fuel in this thing. It won't be 100% full, but we'll fill fuel as we wait for that. I'll just whatever. I don't know right now. I think you're putting about as much fuel in it as you would in a tier 1 rocket, so technically 1 can. Well, yeah, that's how much we're putting in. But anyways, that's how much you can use to get here, but then you can't really go back very easily, so yeah. So the battery's in it, it's all fueled up, I hope. Is it fueled up? So let's check. Yeah, 66% fuel left. It's all fueled up. And let's get ready to launch. So this is why you don't need a parachute, because you won't actually do the same landing unless something goes horribly wrong. But you won't actually do the same landing as you would when you're getting back to Earth with the lock control on, whatever it's called. Launch controller, that's what it's called, right? And the launch pad will actually stay there when I launch off. So, launch pad's gonna stay there as we fly up. And we fly higher, maybe a little higher. Fly faster, rocket. Fly faster, faster, faster. So again, if you look at the mini-map, we are going really high in Minecraft. 600, 700 blocks, and then we go to 800 blocks, 900 blocks, you just go really high. You go way above block limit, and you're actually going this high, I feel like, block-wise. Very interesting indeed. Very interesting. So you go here. You don't actually have the menu, but you have to press left shift to accelerate and space to deaccelerate. If you hit space for too long, you will actually end up flying up again instead of going down. So you probably don't want to go too fast, or I figure you will explode, but I've never decided to test that. Because the explosions when you're landing and fail are huge, so... Yeah. So you'll get used to this sometime, but it's not very easy to get used to the way this landing works. So as you can see, we land right here, and the rocket's there. If we embark in the rocket, it has 12% fuel left. Before you launch again, you might want to fill it up. And then if we break our rocket here, is this glitched or something? I'm confused. I am confused. Anyways, let's get our pick. Oh no, what have we done? Oh, we finally broke it. So here's our little tier 3 and tier 2. And this one's much more fuel efficient, I guess. I don't know. And it will keep going back and forth, and it has a lot of fuel. It can go for a couple of times before you have to fill it up again. And I don't know where the tier 2 rocket went, honestly. It's kind of weird. And then here, if we go to unlock schematic, you cannot do tier 3 yet since it's not out. As you can see, it says coming through. But if we do this one, here's the cargo rocket. And because why not? I didn't do this last episode. Let's do the moon buggy schematic one. So if we put this moon buggy schematic in and unlock it, we will have something like this. It takes way more than a rocket to build though. So yeah, that was the second part of the Galacticraft mod. I will do a third part. In part 3, another planet comes out. But I don't know, I don't think a new planet has come out yet. Actually, no. Recently, Galacticraft has been updated, and I think a new planet came out, but it's in beta version. So I'll wait a little longer until it's out of beta version. But anyways, thanks guys so much for watching this. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learned stuff from this, because it is very nice to know stuff. And it has been fun doing this. I'm going to enjoy continuing this series, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.